everyone! Today I wanted to do a little pregnancy update of weeks 28 through 35 about. I'm 35 weeks pregnant in a few days right now, and I wanted to do a little update because so much has happened in this time. Like, I felt like for the beginning of the pregnancy it wasn't like too crazy anything, and now I've had some things happen. So I wanted to talk about it. So I'm just gonna, I have my little belly book here, and every week I write down kind of like things like as an overview of my week for the baby in here. Like sometimes I put pictures, and I am at the end gonna go and put pictures in all of them, but these are just the ones that I have like Polaroid pictures of or ultrasound pictures or something. So I'm just basically gonna kind of go through this and explain what has happened in every week. So like week 28, that's when I started doing more YouTube videos and filming more, and I had a lot of energy. I was nesting a ton. I went and had my 28-week appointment where they test for gestational diabetes and they do labs and stuff. I don't have gestational diabetes. I had really good results, which was awesome. And then they did find out that I'm like a tiny, slightly bit anemic, which I've never been anemic before in my life. I've never had symptoms of anemia, nothing. So this is probably just from pregnancy and having like more blood, stuff like that. But honestly, it doesn't affect me. I don't feel tired, anything like that. But basically she just wanted me to take some more iron and vitamin C to help with that. So I'm curious at next week at my 36 week, well actually I have an appointment in 2 days. I'm going to be 36 weeks this week. That's crazy. But I have, oh my gosh, ow. Oh my god, he's moving. I think his legs are like in here. And it's like kicks my ribs and stuff like that, and it kind of hurts sometimes. So at 36 weeks they're going to test for the group B strep and then also just like other labs. So I'm going to see if she can check my iron again and see if it's improved or not, because I'm curious. And my chiropractor is curious from what I've been taking if it's been helping. Yeah, that was pretty much week 28. I felt pretty good. I was like on the move, getting stuff ready, wanting to do more things, so that was good. So then week 29 I just wrote that I was for sure in full nesting mode and doing a lot of stuff. I was actually working on getting baby stuff, working on our trailer and getting it decorated and more ready, wanting to work on our van and getting that finished and sold, like lots of different things. And then I also wrote down that on April 2nd he kicked me in the left hip really hard, and it actually really hurt. Most of his kicks and moves don't really hurt that much, but now they're starting to more because he's running out of more room. And at week 28 and after is when my belly like really started to grow. It was growing before that, but honestly like I didn't really start taking as many pictures and stuff like that until week 28 and after, because my stomach actually looked like a pregnant stomach. Now on belly week 30, I wrote, we are losing space in there. I'm really feeling a lot of movements, and Alex can feel them too. And then basically it was just really nice out and stuff like that, and we worked on the trailer and all that stuff. And then I also wrote down that we parked in the expecting mother parking for the first time. There's one grocery store around here that has expecting mother parking. So whenever we go there, Alex has always wanted to use it, but I wouldn't let him park in it ever, because I was like, I don't look that pregnant, I don't feel that pregnant, I don't need to park in it. But at week 30 I let him park in it for the first time, and he was so excited, and I took a picture because he was so excited. So that was really cute. For week 31 I basically just wrote that he's moving around a lot, and things that I normally do are starting to get a lot harder, and I get tired a lot quicker. And we're working on preparing the baby shower, which was really fun. And then we have just kept working on a lot of stuff. And we also went back and lived at the farm and left Alex's parents' house and worked on our trailer and stuff like that. Week 32 was Easter week. Everybody came home from traveling. So Alex's parents came home from traveling. My grandparents came home like the week after, and everybody was really surprised to see my big belly because I haven't seen it in a really long time. So they really liked that. And then I also wrote that we found some fun things for him, including a wicker bassinet and a stroller that has like so many attachments. It's an awesome stroller. It's like has 2 wheels in the back and then one on the front, so it's like a jogging stroller, but it also has, it's really smooth. And it also has a bassinet that you can put in it and different types of seat attachments, and it can be a double stroller. It's crazy. And I found it on the Facebook Marketplace actually, and it was in really good condition. So we were really excited about those. And the wicker bassinet is to stay at my grandparents' house where we keep the trailer and at the farm. And it was just super cute, and I couldn't pass it up because it was really inexpensive and I loved it. We also went to an awesome vegan festival called Midwest Vegan Fest and ate delicious food. And we went to IKEA because we went towards Milwaukee that day, which is like a couple hours away from where we live in Wisconsin. So we went to IKEA. We got some really fun toys. And they're so cute, so that was really fun. And then we had a midwife appointment and found out that you might be breech, but we couldn't confirm until the next week when we went and got an ultrasound. And then I also wrote we did so much prep for the baby shower. So a lot going on around this time and pretty much the weeks following. So week 33, I have a little ultrasound picture right here actually. Basically you can just see like the outline of his head, and his hand is up by his face. He always covers his face with his hands, and he likes to have his feet up there, and it makes it really hard when we actually get to do an ultrasound because we can barely see him. We got to see him in 3D a little bit, and he was covering his face most of the time, so she couldn't get any really good pictures, but we saw him yawn a couple times and he kept his eyes closed like he was really sleepy, and it was the cutest thing ever. We couldn't see him well enough to really see any distinct facial features necessarily, like if it looked more like me or like Alex, because his hands were his hands were up by his face and his eyes were closed, and yeah, but it was really cute, his little yawn and his little lips. But then I also wrote we had your awesome baby shower. It was an all plant-based food vegan baby shower. It was a lot of work, but getting it ready for it, but it turned out so amazing and everybody loved it. We had a taco bar mostly and with some other stuff, and it was just amazing. I also wrote, this is one of the big things, he gave us a scare because I was having a little bleeding / like color discharge. It was mostly, it was like, at first I had like one dot of like red blood, and then it went kind of like brown and it wasn't much, and then later on I got the discharge back again and it was mostly browny red, but it wasn't like bright or anything, and then it just kept kind of increasing. It started on like that last time, it started on a Wednesday, and then on Friday morning I woke up, and it seemed like in the morning it was always kind of worse. And so I woke up Friday morning and went to the bathroom, and it was a lot of like red blood when I went to the bathroom, and it was like pretty red, like it wasn't like that darker color. So that freaked us out a lot. So then I called my midwife right away, and she set up a appointment at the hospital for us to see the doctor, and so they could do an ultrasound or whatever they needed to do to figure out what was wrong with me. So we ended up going to the hospital later that afternoon, and we were there for a while, but basically most of it was just waiting on the doctors and stuff. But we saw a midwife there, and she came and she did a vaginal exam, and I just had like a really bad yeast infection, and it was weird because I had no symptoms of yeast infections, no burning, itching, nothing. Like literally this bleeding discharge stuff was the only thing that I had, which was really weird. So that's why we didn't know what was wrong necessarily, but it was just really freaky to be bleeding and stuff like that, especially like in pregnancy. You don't normally bleed and stuff like that. It is normal around this time to have a little bit of stuff, but not like in the way that I was having it, and we just wanted to be safe. But yeah, so she ended up just cleaning it, and then they gave me fluconazole, and I took it once at the hospital, and then I left that Friday, and once I left the hospital, I had no more issues. I have not had any bleeding, any discharge, nothing. I feel totally fine. I felt fine that whole time actually while I had the yeast infection, but it was just a weird random thing. So that's what it is. They ended up not even doing an ultrasound then. They were like pretty much 100% sure that my bleeding was coming from that, and yeah. So then that was on a Friday, and the Wednesday after it of week 33 is when we went and got the ultrasound to see if he was breech or not. They wouldn't do it the same day, so then we had to go back the Wednesday after, and they did an ultrasound, which is where we got to see him, but they did confirm that he was breech, which sucks. That was like 33 weeks, so then the next day I was 34 weeks. Now we're just gonna figure out what we gotta do, because now we have a situation where the baby's breech and we gotta try to flip him. So that brings us to week 34, which I wrote, doing everything we can to get you to flip. We also are finishing getting everything we need for your arrival. We're so excited to meet you. We got to see your cute little yawn at the ultrasound yesterday, but it was hard to see your face because you love your hands and feet to be by it. And they also said he's a little wiggle worm, which he has been the whole time. On that morning of week 34, we went and saw the midwife and told her and talked to her about different options and things to do. And I kind of had some ideas already, and one of them was going to a chiropractor, just not necessarily so they can flip the baby, because they don't do that, but they get your body in alignment, and they get your pelvis and everything lined up, and that helps him to be lined up to come out of you. So we just thought, even if like this doesn't help him flip, or it doesn't help him with anything, at least it'll help my body be more prepared and ready to give birth. So that is like one thing that I started doing, and I am obsessed with the chiropractor I go to. She is an amazing chiropractor. She's so helpful, and she explains everything so much. She gave me so many tips on things that would help, different ways to sit, because I work from home and I can sit on the couch anywhere. So she gave me different things to sit. She told me like how to move more. She told me just so many different tips and tricks to just think about like all day as I'm doing things, to help with his position and to keep him in a better position. One thing that I'm like notorious for doing, I've done this before I was pregnant for like ever, like I always do this, is like when I'm sitting on the couch and stuff like that, I put my laptop like on my lap or on my stomach, because sometimes I'll lay it like an angle and I'll put it on my stomach, and that's not good for him, and I wouldn't recommend it. And I tried not to do it quite as much, but I still did it, and now I really have been like really careful with it. Like I do not do it now, and I try everything not to, and it's hard because now he's big and he's like a big stand, so sometimes it's easy to set stuff on him. But yeah, I really try not to do that. So just a lot of random stuff like that. I go and I see her 3 times a week right now, which seems excessive, but I am 35 weeks along, and I need this baby to be in the best possible position. I need my body to be in the best possible shape. So we decided that we are going to see her, and then in a few weeks I'll see her like twice a week, and then it'll just go down. But yeah, otherwise we probably wouldn't go quite as much, but that's kind of what we're doing right now, and I definitely just everything has been helping so much. Another thing that I've been doing to help him, I watch some YouTube videos and stuff, and I do some yoga moves every day now. So I do like child's pose, downward dog, and then there's the one in between that. I do some stuff like that, and then I do some stretching. And honestly, I did a lot of yoga before 28 weeks, and he was always head down, and then I kind of took a break because I was doing so much exercise other ways, and I was doing so many things and walking a ton, where I was like, okay, like I don't think, like I didn't have that much time to do yoga and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm getting a lot of exercise anyway. But I do regret not doing it, because in that week time from 28 weeks he was head down. After that, when I went at 32 weeks or whatever, he wasn't head down anymore. So I do think that it could have had something to do with that I wasn't doing like yoga stuff anymore. And I definitely think that it helps your body, and even just stretching and stuff like that is so helpful. So I would highly recommend to do that kind of stuff while you're pregnant. And plus, I just feel like so much better. I think I'm having a contraction because my stomach is really hard. Those Braxton Hicks contractions are starting now. But it just, stretching and the yoga just makes my body feel so much better. So I would highly recommend doing it. So I've been doing that like every day now. It's really important to me because it helps him get in a better position. And then the one other thing that we did that was kind of crazy that we saw is that it says underwater handstands can help flip him because of all the pressure and being upside down and stuff like that. So we went to the pool one day and I did 2 underwater handstands, like kind of in a row. And then after that I felt kind of weird because it's so much pressure. I could do them pretty normally still. It's just, it's a little harder to get down there, but I wasn't that hard. And after that, we definitely think that it did something. He's definitely in a different position and he's been moving a ton more. If he's not head down, we'd be really surprised. But now, before, his back was right here and his head was up here and his butt was down here and his legs came up and his hands were in here. And now I get all the kicks and stuff over here, and we think his butt and his back are right here because it's so big and hard right in here. And then down here it's like a lot softer and stuff now, which would make sense because his head is like down and in. So if he is not head down like we think, he's definitely moving a lot in a different position, which gives us hope because it means that he can move and that he will move if he isn't head down yet. So those are some different things that we did to try to get him to flip that we think have worked. Yeah, we don't find out to see if he is head down or not yet, probably until 2 days from now, Wednesday, because we need to have our midwife feel around and see if she can tell. And if she can't tell, then we have to get another ultrasound probably. It's been about 2 weeks or so since our last midwife appointment, and in those 2 weeks we were really trying to do different things to get him to flip and just doing all we could to help him out. So now it comes the decision time. If he hasn't flipped, we have to make some decisions, but basically, like, the birth center is okay with doing vaginal breech birth, but we have to decide if it's something right for us, or if he doesn't end up flipping, or if he decides to be breech again or something, there's a possibility we could do a C-section at 39 weeks if we wanted to, which we don't want to do if we don't have to, but we will do whatever is safest for me and the baby. But yeah, and if he isn't flipped by Wednesday, they can do an ECV, which is like an external version of flipping him, where they grab him from the outside of my stomach and flip him. It can be very painful, but it might be better than doing a C-section and all that kind of stuff. So you have to just do your research and do what you think is right for you. We'll see, because we have high hopes that he's head down now and that he is doing a lot better. I think that is pretty much my baby pregnancy update for weeks 28 through 35. Kind of long, kind of a lot of information, which is why I wanted to make this video and put it in here. I have it all written down in my little baby book here, but I definitely wanted to share, and I wanted to share some crazy things that have been happening to us, because it's not just like been easygoing whatever, you know, like there's been couple little issues now and stuff, but it's all gonna work out just how it's meant to be, right? So yeah, we're hopeful and we're so excited to meet him. And I'm gonna be 36 weeks. Today's Monday, and on Thursday I'll be 36 weeks, and I'll be having him so soon. So I think that is the end of this update, and I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know if you've had any issues like this or weird things happen in your pregnancy, if you are pregnant, or if you just want to leave some kind of comment. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!